Hello, coffee lovers. Today we are going to go through replacing the bean hopper on a Rancilio Rocky grinder. It's the same on the doser and the doserless, and today we have the doserless version of the Rocky.
Yep.
And we have a very special technical guest, Jeremiah here today.
Hi guys.
So I've never done this before, and Jeremiah is going to kind of help lead me through it because he's done it very many times. And the reason why we're doing it is because the hopper itself comes in somewhat of a kit. It comes with the hopper, and then Rancilio provides these kind of broad directions. It's mostly in Italian, but there are also English directions, but they're kind of vague, so that's why we're doing the video. But it also comes with this stopper, with a couple screws for the stopper, and then most importantly the sticker, which can kind of be a little bit complicated in terms of getting the sticker on there properly.
Yeah, that's the tricky part
Exactly.
of this whole thing.
Okay, so before we get started here, we'll take that out in a minute.
Yeah.
Jeremiah, what are some reasons why people would need to replace this?
So why you'd want to replace this is either it gets damaged in shipping, say it's really old, discolored, coffee oil stain it, you want it to make it look brand new, you want to get this nice. I mean, you can see the difference in the colors of the new ones versus our old one.
This looks a little yellow, yeah.
It's a little yellowish. So, if you want to keep up the appearance of your machine, that's one good reason why you'd want to do this.
Nice.
So.
Okay, so the first step is let's take this stuff off.
Accessories off.
Yep. There we go. Oh, nice.
All comes off.
And I'm just going to turn this a little bit towards the camera so everyone can see what we're doing here. We have 3 flathead screws in here, kind of for this finger guard, but it's also mounting the hopper, correct?
Yep. That's what's holding the hopper in place.
Gotcha. So first thing we're going to do is take all 3 flathead screws out. Okay, here we go.
He's going to do it because
this is my first time. Yeah. You gotta lead me though.
Newbie at this one.
Yeah, I don't want to mess it up, Jeremiah. Okay, so there's the first one. The second one.
And don't mind if the screws don't come out. You'll pull them out with a black finger guard.
Got it.
At the same time.
Perfect. I think I might have them all. There we go. So I got the finger guard and the 3 screws all kind of as one piece there.
Yep. And then just set that off to the side.
Yeah, we might want to give that a brush. There are grounds all over it.
Yep.
Okay, and now the hopper should just come free, correct?
Yes, it should. You should be able to pull up.
Perfect.
Make sure there's no beans in the hopper, because if you do, they're going to go all over inside your machine.
The first thing I'm noticing, Jeremiah, is this one I don't see. Where's the black piece that's come with the hopper?
It's actually on the underside. This is an old style.
But is it
so
just
this is the old style.
Okay, gotcha.
It has just a screw.
So that's what's acting as the stopper.
That's the stopper.
And now with this kit, this is acting as the stopper. Okay, got it.
Because the screws break off on the older style, so they
see.
switched to this new style.
I've already learned something.
There you go.
Okay. So I'm assuming the next part is getting these screws out and the stopper and putting that in
Yeah,
the
you're
hopper
going to want to
first.
go ahead and put it all on
Okay.
the bean hopper, which there's 3 screw locations on the very bottom of everything, located here, here, and here. And it only provides 2 screws. You only need 2 of the screws to hold it down.
Gotcha. So this should probably be facing down.
So that actually faces up.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see how this works. Got it.
And those line up. This is just big enough to hit all 3 locations.
I see.
For the screw holes.
So now what I should do is screw this in right now.
Yep,
Perfect.
just lightly. Don't
Lightly.
tighten it all the way down because you'll have to play with it once you get it zeroed out.
Perfect. And this is you're going to need a pretty small Phillips because this
Phillips
is,
1 screwdriver.
got it. Perfect. There we go.
I would actually go the middle one.
Oh, really? Not the okay. Perfect.
Not the end ones.
Got
The
it.
middle and the closest one to the stopper, so you have more adjustment.
Well, there we go. Second tip.
Second tip. Yep.
And are we using both of these screws?
Both screws.
Got it. So the other one should be towards the beginning.
Towards the beginning where
Perfect.
the stop actually is.
Got it. I see. Because there's probably going to be a little more tension there.
A little bit more tension, and then it also lets you adjust the bean hopper. So once you have your burrs zeroed out, you can slide it back and forth to where your holes line up.
I see.
So you can thread everything back down.
Got it. Let me get this in here. It's kind of hard to... There we go. And you're saying don't tighten it all the way down?
Not all the way, not until we get it zeroed out.
I see.
And then we can play with it and slide it one way or the other. You might have to move the screws. Usually it's pretty good if you start with the 2 screws closest together.
Okay. And what do you mean by zeroed out?
Zeroed out is where the burrs in here physically touch. The upper burr touches the lower burr. Now that we've got this off, if you look in here, this is all coffee grounds.
Oh, you're right.
All old, stale. You're gonna wanna go ahead and do like a grinder service on this at the exact same time that you're gonna go ahead and replace this.
I see.
So you're just gonna scrape it all out. And then the way you're gonna do that is just unthread this.
Look at that.
And it should be easy if you do it regularly. If you don't do it regularly, these burrs can get seized on and you won't be able to move this. And if you can't move it, 9 times out of 10, you've got to send it into us and we can usually get it free.
Got it.
But there's the upper burr and then there's the lower burr.
A lot of grounds in there.
A lot of grounds. You're going to want a little vacuum.
So let's get our vacuum
Close
out real
by.
quick. We got it all set up here.
Yep.
Pardon the noise. Threads a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. Perfect.
So that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
One last thing I like to do is you take a rag. You want to get the threads clean.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you were really hitting those.
Because you can see how much I've got off just by wiping the threads. If you don't have the threads clean, it's going to be harder to thread back on.
And then, like you're saying, it will give there's a better chance for, you know, the threads get seized up.
Yep.
These are very fine threads, you know, and so it would be really easy to cross thread with too many grounds in there, and that's something you guys see all the time in the repair
we
department.
see it all the time.
Yeah.
At this stage, if you had an older machine, you could easily replace the upper and lower burrs at this point. Same thing, there's 3 flatheads, which you would want to clean out on the upper, and then you would just take a regular flathead screwdriver, unthread those, and then there's 3 here that you would want to do.
Pretty easy burr replacement.
Pretty easy burr replacement. We usually have them on hand. So once you've got this all somewhat cleaned out, it will be messy. It's a very messy job, but we've got it cleaned out.
Yep.
Now, if you want to thread that back in,
Perfect.
the best way to do it is actually spin backwards until you feel it drop into place.
Is this reverse threads to tighten it? Oh, it's not.
Nope. So spin backwards, you should hear that click, and then you should be able to start threading it down. You'll actually feel it set.
There we go. Yep, I know it's.
And then you should just be able to spin it in with your hands pretty easy. Be careful on these edges.
Oh, they're sharp. You're right. They are very sharp.
There's times that if you take a rag, put it like this, and it'll protect your fingers.
There we go.
And you won't cut yourself.
Now, from what you said earlier, I should go down all the way until this stops screwing, and that will be our 0 setting on the actual hopper.
Yep. So once you hit the bottom, you'll actually see the bottom burr start moving with the upper burr.
I see.
And there is times if you do it and you feel like it's tight, you're not all the way down. If you're not seeing that lower burr move, you're hitting grounds.
Yep. So we can kind of look here. Yeah. We have our bottom burr and our top burr, and I'm gonna tighten this. I'm gonna keep on tightening this, and eventually, right there, we have them both spinning. So we're officially zeroed out right now. Yep. So let's put this back, and that will be our 0 setting on our hopper.
Yep.
So now where do we go from here?
So now they're in here. This guy is your stop. So this is what the black or the screw is hitting against, and it actually is what stops the grinder at the finest and the coarsest setting. So what you're going to want to do is take your bean hopper, line up your stop so it kind of hits that.
With our brake.
With your brake, yep.
I see.
So that should, and then it usually helps if you push down.
Oh yeah.
To hold that out of the way.
And so now we're hitting.
So now you're hitting.
But our screws aren't aligned, our screw holes. So I should kind of turn this to get it to totally.
Yeah, you don't always want the burrs physically touching.
Exactly.
You want to back it off just a little bit.
Yeah, because now let me ask you this: is the 0 setting on the grinder, is that a usable setting for someone to use?
Usually not.
Exactly.
It's almost too fine. You could use it for like your Turkish.
I see.
If you have, New Burrs, Rocky, it's a super fine grind. You don't really ever want to be down at 0. I would say 5 is probably the lowest you want to be on this grinder.
Got it. So there we go right there. I kind of got it exactly how you're setting. Exactly how you're saying. I got it. So the brake's hitting.
Yep.
And then all 3 screw holes are aligned. Got it.
Right there, that's set up.
That's our 0.
That's your 0 mark.
So now we want to take a Sharpie.
And I don't know if you can see this little triangle right here. That's your indicator. So he has it zeroed. You take a Sharpie, you do a dot. That right there indicates, we can do a bigger one so you can see it.
Yeah, there we go.
That indicates your 0.
Perfect.
So now you can pull off your bean hopper.
Perfect.
And then you're going to want to get your sticker.
Now we have our sticker. And now this is what you were telling me before, this is why we have this separate tape here.
Yep. Painter's tape, Scotch tape, anything really works.
So here's our 0 that we've been talking about the whole time on the sticker. And we need to get that right where our dot is, right where our line is that we just drew. Where is it? There it is. So we need to get this on there just like this. And so what are we exactly doing with the tape here? I remember you telling me earlier.
So what we're doing with the tape is, if you see,
let me get a piece out here.
0 is in the center. So to keep that in line with that mark, it's going to be very difficult to peel off the paper on the back to start adhering it without getting bubbles. So if you have your piece of tape, line your 0 mark up like this.
See.
Nope, we're going to go around the edge.
Oh, and tape it there.
Around the edge. You see where the seams come together? We're going to double check 0 because it slid.
I see what we're doing.
So the seams go together there. So he's going to tape down one side.
Got it. I see.
Go actually vertically, yep.
Oh, I see, to give us a little more room.
And only half on, half off.
Like that?
Yeah, you can go like that. Perfect.
Okay, so we're just leaving that in place. I see.
So that now holds our thing at 0. So then you can actually peel this around, and the tape allows you to peel off
that
adhesive, and then you can work it around.
That's genius.
It took a lot of practice to get that one down.
That's a really good move, Jeremiah.
So then you just work real slow with your finger and just get all the air bubbles out as you work around.
I see.
You don't even have to pull the plastic or the paper. As you work your thumbs,
oh yeah, okay.
It'll actually pull the paper out of the way.
Got it. So I'm just going all the way around here. That's a really nice tip, Jeremiah.
Yeah, that's how they do it in the factories, stuff like that. That's the easiest way we've also found out that it works. And then once you get close to the end, you're going to want to peel off your tape.
Okay, our original piece of tape. Got it.
Your blue tape that's stuck on there.
Got it. Because you don't want it going under that.
Yeah, you don't want to tape that because that's a really strong sticker. If it touches itself, you've lost that sticker.
Okay, I'm going to take it off now because I got most of it on.
Kind of be careful when you peel it off so you don't pull it.
Perfect. So we're good there.
And then just slide it over and you should be...
Look at that.
Stuck on.
So now we got this on, and like, you know.
You can see it's pretty much like the factory.
Yeah.
If you look at the seams there.
Okay, yeah.
I'm
a little uneven, but we're doing fine.
Over time, the unevenness doesn't matter if you're down a little lower. Over time, doing it a couple times, of course, I can get it to where it matches this one. But that's a really good first time.
Essentially, we just got the 0 calibrated with the brake.
Yep. So now that you're zeroed out, go ahead and tighten down your 2 screws on the bottom.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. I see.
And you're good to go.
Jeez, we're a little messy here.
Well, grinders are messy.
Okay,
they're very messy little.
Get this on there all the way.
And you're going to want to go tight.
Okay.
You should actually see the screw sink into the black plastic a little bit. That's probably good right there.
Okay, and I'll do this one a little more. I did this one tighter to begin with. Cool. That's good.
So.
Now I'm going to find the 0 here. line it up. It's hitting the brake. All three, look at that, and it's right, almost right in line with the arrow there.
Yep, it's pretty close. You'll never get it exactly on 0.
Yeah.
But you're close.
Exactly. So
now then it's just a
we're
matter
ready
of
for
that.
this. Perfect. Okay,
And then you can wipe it down or brush it off.
there we go. We do have some grounds in there. There's just coffee everywhere, Jeremiah.
I know, it goes everywhere.
All right, so there's that. And now it doesn't look like this is specific at all. Looks
Nope.
like it can just go
That
right
can go
down.
any way,
Perfect.
any direction. Then you take your flathead again and retighten all your screws down. We did clean out the beans that are in the holes.
Oh, that's right. We did do
So before coming up, so you will find beans in there. It's the perfect size to hold beans.
that. If you look down there initially and you don't see any flathead screws, it's because you have some coffee beans in these holes, and it's the hole itself is almost the perfect size for a coffee bean.
Yeah, it fits in there nicely.
Yeah.
I don't know why they made it that way, but they did. But it works really well. And then you could easily take your flathead, break up the beans, vacuum it out when you're removing the extra beans inside your bean hopper.
Well, there we go.
And then you can test it and push the button down, make sure it spins and locks into different places.
Gotcha.
So like if you push this down, you can see that it'll
Oh yeah.
stops and then locks in there. So
I see.
And then a good starting point for these guys is roughly 10.
I see.
That'll get you kind of close to your espresso bean grind. Some it's higher, some it's a little lower.
Got it.
So, but that's replacing a
And
bean hopper.
now our ground spout needs to be replaced as well. Look at that. It looks pretty
Yeah, it's
yellow
pretty-
when it's sitting next to this brand new hopper.
And those get discolored.
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy thing. You can see there's just 2 screws. It comes right off and you can clean it very easy. So,
Well, that's great.
yeah.
Okay, one thing that you'll want to take notice of is, so we have the hopper zeroed out. We got it on the brake. It's not moving. But our 3 screw holes here aren't aligning on the hopper with the top burr. And, you know, we could easily just turn the top burr a little bit
To match them.
to match it. But the only problem with that, Jeremiah is saying, is that, you know, then your first setting is going to be a little more coarse
Yeah.
than you would want it.
Yeah, you're not going to be as fine as technically you want it.
Exactly. So something Rancilio has done, is, you know, this is a slide technically.
Versus the screw.
Yeah, versus a screw. So we got a little wiggle room here. So what we'll do is I'm going to take another look at this real quick. So what I'm going to want to do is slide this brake a little bit this way.
Yep.
Right? Exactly. So if I just loosen this just a little bit. Oops, I put that on there pretty tight, didn't I?
Yep, you did.
That's good. That's good.
That's what you want though, because you don't want that sliding while you're making adjustments. Because every time you hit 0, it's going to move that 0. So what we're showing you right now is he did it perfect the first time. We're going to show you how far off 0 when the burrs actually touch, and I can't move this centerpiece. It's locked in tight, so that's zeroed out. So I can't move it. Where he had it is I could spin it. Like that. So it does spin freely and I can move it with my finger really easy. That's where you want it. What we're showing you is it's locked into place. But that's just kind of show you how to adjust the bean hopper if you don't get it right the first time.
So I've slid the brake a little bit, and I'm just going to put this in real quick and see how we're looking. See, I almost did it a good amount there my first try, but I still need to go a little farther because they're not aligned, so I'm just going to go just about 1/8 of an inch farther. Then I'm going to put this down again and then see how we're looking.
Yeah, and it's just a trial and error. So if you push down on the button where your ring finger is, you can actually rotate it.
Oh, look at that.
And you can actually just slide it to where
there we
you
go.
line
You're
it
right.
up.
That's so much easier. So now I'm letting go. The screw holes are perfect now. So now I know that I can go and just tighten the heck out of this.
Then you just tighten those down.
Yeah, that's right where we need it. That's great.
Yeah, so that will slide. That plastic piece, if you loosen them up enough, you push this button down, you can actually slide that bean hopper to where your holes match up. Granted, we're going to readjust this once we're done, because if we put it back in our showroom, they're going to have trouble with it clogging up, burning out the burrs more often because they're touching sooner, stuff like that. So it's kind of necessary to make sure that they're not touching.
I see.
So
Let's put it back in here.
and push down and rotate. I might have moved it a little bit.
You did, Jeremiah.
I tightened it a little too tight.
That's fine. There we go. A little more, and then we're just about there. There we go. Now we're spot on.
So if you see here, here's 0. That's where we had it ideal. But now we're off, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines? Mm-hmm. So that's 4 times finer. So if you're at 10, you know, you're actually at 6. So it's actually working against you in that feature in the fineness setting. So it's better to have it so that lower burr just spins just freely and then dial it into 0 there.
I see.
So you're not going to fight grinder clogs, stuff like that.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Gets a little tricky.
Gets a little tricky, but he did a good job on his first attempt. But as long as you make sure that upper burr spins just barely to where it's not touching the lower, and then you dial it into 0 there, you're perfect.
Got it.
You've nailed it.
Got it.
This was just to show you how to adjust this piece and how to make it move easily.
They give you a little wiggle room.
A little wiggle room.
Some room for error.
Yep. So you've got room for error on that, and then you can just reattach everything back the way you had it before.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Yeah. Thank you, Brandon. Good job on your first time.
Woohoo!